This is what you came for. You clicked on the main show. You keep coming back, well I'm showing you that this is what I'm made for. Nothing ain't the same, no. This is what you came for. You keep coming back, well I tell you this is my turn. Welcome to the tavern.
Enough said with that one. We'll move on to the next topic, and we are gonna have to get one. Let's go ahead and just get this one out of the way. We gonna talk about the autistic kid that beat up the teacher and is facing charges for taking his Nintendo Switch down in Florida. I don't have like I guess I should have them, but I don't have like deep details. Basically, that's what happened. I don't know how old this kid is, but I think he was in high school.
He's a teenager.
Yeah, he's a teenager in high school, and there was an incident in Florida where he was on his Switch. Teacher told him to put it up. He didn't. She took it, and then he beat her down. I didn't see any video of it physically happening. I just seen photos of it, and it looked like she was hurt pretty bad. Because he looked like he was pretty big. You know what I mean? But here's my thing with this story. I know the visuals of it look really bad, but at the same time, if you're dealing with autistic kids, I feel like you should know how to deal with them at all ages. You know what I mean? Like, because I know sometimes they fully functionable. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they know right from wrong, and you know what I mean? Like, they can be punished in certain ways. They don't need no help and all of that other stuff. But in other cases, you have got to know that certain kids that you're dealing with special needs have anger issues or something like that. So in that case, I feel like there should have been some type of precaution where I'm pretty sure they have to know that this kid has had an issue of anger. You know what I mean? I don't think this is something that just happens one time. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know what happened this day, on this particular day. Maybe Money was just having a bad day and she picked the wrong day to take his Switch. But I feel like if you are dealing with special needs people, you have to be prepared for the worst at all times. You know what I mean? And you should be able to read the signs and the visuals that something bad is really about to happen. Because I know people joke about it all the time, and they see people got that, you know what I mean, that super strength when they like that. But it's for real, because they don't really know what they doing to people. They really don't be knowing. You know what I mean? And this kid is big. He look about 6'1", 6'2", a good 230. You know what I mean? And he was beating on a woman. But does he really know what he was doing? We don't know. Maybe that's the only way he knew how to act in that situation. Does he have a history of this? I feel like this could have been avoided. You know what I mean? Like there should have been a male teacher around, just in case something happened. Because you just never know. They're unpredictable. Anything can happen. And when they go into them anger rages, you have to deal with them a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, and from what I can see, you know what I mean, it was a black student and Caucasian teacher, right? Mm-hmm. So that's gonna look even worse. You know what I mean? And then because he is black, I don't think that they're really gonna care about his sentencing him as a teen or an adult. Like, he's gonna get tried the way he's gonna get the full punishment. They're not gonna care about it, which is crazy to me, because they allow these white kids to go in schools and shoot up people, you know what I mean, and all of this other shit, and then they get in there and plead insanity and they out in a month. You know what I mean? I hate bringing it back to black and white, but this kid is gonna get punished. He's gonna get punished.
He's gonna get punished.
He's gonna get punished.
And to a degree, he should. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's gonna be worth the 30 years they're talking about that he could get. I've dealt with some people with autism in my life. it's a very touchy thing. Because like you said, they can be, some of them are functional.
Very functional. I worked with a few of them.
And can come across
they normal
just
people.
as normal,
normal people.
as you and me. I think what's going to come into context, or what's going to make it look weird, is to a person without knowledge, this is just going to look like a kid having a fucking tantrum.
I don't care about that though, dog. I understand him. I understand them punishing him some way. You know what I mean? But what they are about to hit him with, or what they hit him with, it ain't necessary.
Them down south states different though.
Yeah, they are different. They are different. And Florida,
and I'll be the first to admit, I do think, and I don't care that he's black and she's white. If this was a white kid beating on a black person, I would feel the same way. No, I do think he need to go to jail for a little bit.
I think he should sit down for a second.
Yeah, he needs.
I absolutely
is it
think
worth 30 years? I'm not gonna say,
because even in his anger, you know what I mean, like he still probably knew he didn't have to go as far as he did.
I was gonna say, because in my the autistic people that I have dealt with, yeah, they snap and do shit like this, that, and the third, but they know right from wrong. And sometimes after they think about it for a minute, like they know when they've gone too far. Do I think a kid should get 30 years? No, but he should have to go sit his ass down for a minute.
Okay, but look, here I go playing devil's advocate again. You know what I mean? But here I go. Look, so we don't know what led up to this either. You know what I mean? Like maybe this teacher picked with this kid all the time because it be that. You know what I mean? Like maybe she treat him wrong because he's autistic, because that happens too. And maybe he was just at his snapping point. Because my thing is, if he don't have again, we don't know the details, but if he don't have a history of just snapping on people like this, there had to be some reason why it happened, and we don't know that.
And let me tell you why I can disagree with that.
Why?
Because of the ones I have dealt with. Sometimes it is what it looks like. It is just a fucking tantrum, and then fucking snap.
Yeah, you're right. It might be that.
And
that's why
I'm just saying. Sometimes it's literally just that fucking simple.
Yeah, it may be that. He may have just been having a bad day and wanted to spaz out.
I've been in situations to where I was dealing with somebody and they had an autistic person in the family, and literally just because this person got told no, they got to throwing plates and glasses at people.
Yeah, it could.
Like, and I'm saying, I'm not trying to dismiss what happened to that woman or dismiss this young man's disability, but he needs to sit down for a minute. I'm not going to say whether he needs to be in a prison or maybe a mental health facility.
Yeah, I think
he needs.
I agree. He needs to sit down for a minute, or he needs some type of rehabilitation. You know, I mean, like you said, whether it's a mental institution or maybe a juvenile detention or something, he don't need to be getting hit with 30 years though, dog.
Because if all those injuries she had, like if that shit was true, like he could have beat that woman to death. Like he need to go somewhere and chill for a minute. I mean, he needs help.
Yeah, he need help
and everything
and
else.
And jail might not be the right place, because what if he get in jail and snap like that?
I'm not saying jail would be the right place, but he need to go somewhere and chill for a minute.
He get in jail and he snap like that, like, and then it's gonna be all bad for him. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be all bad. But yeah,
he need to chill.
I do believe that something should happen.
It's a very unfortunate.
Yeah, it is
situation, especially because it's dealing with autism. This is just not a thing of being bipolar or schizophrenic or.
Nah, it's very sad.
Being a crackhead or some other shit like that. Like, this is.
I just think that if this is a known fact that he is autistic, I feel like the judge should have took that in consideration. You know what I mean?
But playing devil's advocate, since you went there first, let me go there another way.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting. at what point do we stop giving the disability all this latitude? Because there are people on the internet saying he's autistic, there shouldn't be no punishment at all. Mm-hmm. At what point, I don't think I'm asking it right, but like at what point does like a disability get a little too much weight? Because the one thing I can tell you is this, I guarantee you, like after that was over, somebody talked to him, whatever, he knows what he did was wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
In every way, and I get, yes, people fuck up, people snap, people have bad moments, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
So at what point do you look at a situation like that and it's like, okay, yeah, he's got this thing, but he knew. He knew this wasn't the way. What I'm saying is,
about this. Are you talking about with just this specific situation?
We're using this as a situation because we're talking about. But I'm just saying, if you want to broaden it, just
period.
In general, like the kid a couple years ago that shot up the school in Texas. Mm-hmm. They tried to use the mental health thing. It's kind of reverse racism because he was white. They tried to use the mental health thing and everybody was saying, nah, fuck that, throw him under the jet. What I'm saying is, so at what point does the disability kind of not matter? Does it take murder? Does it take a mass shooting? Does it take a beat down? I'm just saying, because here's what I'm saying. The white people, even the white people, white and black, they want that kid, which I did think I think he did get life. They tried the insane. Like, they wanted that kid thrown under the jail.
Correct.
You have some people with this kid, both black and white, they're saying the same thing we're saying. Yeah, he needs punished. Not the 30 years. Maybe not prison, but he needs to chill for me. Like, at what point does it get looked at? Because here's the thing. If that woman was your wife, and just be honest, would you really give a fuck? Like, he done damn near beat your wife to a pulp. Would you care that he's autistic?
I would care. It wouldn't. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to fuck him up.
You don't have a wife or a girlfriend. Let me rephrase it. If that was your mom,
I would still.
Because I know how you feel about your mom.
Yes.
And somebody beat your mom up like that.
My anger wouldn't let me care.
That's all. Okay.
My anger would not let me care. But in retrospect,
would you be wrong? Like if they told you, we here in Franklin County, this kid could get up to 30 years. Would you be wrong for feeling that he should get to 30 years?
No, I'm not wrong. I wouldn't be wrong.
Now,
I don't.
At what point, once you get over or get some balance in dealing with being pissed, at what point do you let the disability come in and let that factor into your decision making or what is a fair punishment?
After I figured out how everything went down. In that situation, that's the only way because in the beginning of it, I'm not gonna give a fuck. Right. I'm not gonna care, and my anger is not gonna let me because that's my mom, that's my wife,
and that's important because right now this is still somewhat fresh.
Yeah, it's new. So,
but who's to know when you get to that feeling? It might take you years to get to that feeling. And let's just say if this is one of them things where justice or court goes quickly, he done already been sentenced to 30 years.
Yeah.
And at the time, you're like, cool, that's what this motherfucker gets. But now some time has passed, you're done with the anger.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Let the investigation go through. I find out like my mom or my girlfriend, my wife, whoever, that she was abusing this kid on the low or she mistreated him that day or something. And she was the cause for this. And it could have been avoided. I can't really be mad at him. You know what I mean? I'm still going to be mad because you put your hands on a woman and it's a woman that I love. You know what I mean? But if my mom or whoever was the cause of this and they can prove that, You know what I mean? That's when that's where the line is drawn right there. You know what I mean? It's not after the fact, because these kids, like the one in Texas, you know what I mean? He went in there, shot out all of them people up, you know what I mean? And then he want to say, I'm insane, or I'm plead insanity or whatever. You know what I mean? But you wasn't insane when you came up with the plan to do it, when you went and bought the bullets for it, when you loaded the gun, you went to the place, unloaded on them people, and did everything else. And they was taking this nigga to Burger King and all of that other stuff, dog. Like, it was insane. And they wanted to plead, and that's not, you can't do that. I'm not, at that point, I don't care what the issue is. You know what I mean? Like, the sickness, even if he was autistic, at that point, you're a fully functioning. You know what I mean? It's a thin line.
It's a touchy thing. Like,
it's a thin line. But I think each subject or each situation is subjective. And with this situation,
most of the people that I've dealt with who have like an autistic child, if it's a thing where maybe the teacher have been picking on him or you know, whatever. Most people that I know that have autistic children, this is gonna sound bad, but it's like they fight and defend them a little differently. And if there was that type of shit where the teacher was doing a little too much, there would be some type of record of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Because those parents, they're going to complain and try to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, complain wasn't the right word. They're going to report, investigate, and so far,
none of that's
none of that has come out.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm saying this could be an isolated case.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Does he have a history of this? Is he known for spazzing out on people? And if the precautions wasn't taken for whoever in the room to be safe.
But that's what's fucked up, because even with precautions, if a
male is in there, he's not beating that woman like that, and that woman is like half his size.
Still don't mean he wouldn't try.
He would try, but it would have.
It might have ended differently.
Yeah, it would have ended a lot.
It might have ended differently.
And that's all I'm saying. Because that kid looks big.
You made that kind of sexist a little bit, but
what?
You know that bitch could have known. Oh, you know that lady could know Taekwondo. He might have just got the drop on it. Like,
he could have.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying
she
that.
might not been ready.
Listen, I'm not saying that shorty can't defend
I've
herself.
seen some chicks fuck people up. I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, me too. I apologize.
Do not take me laughing as trying to make light of this situation, because I'm not.
I apologize if I did come off as sexist. That's not what I was saying. All I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. I mean, but I agree with you.
If he has a history of it,
there's a chance.
Yeah.
Had the teacher been different, it ain't got to be a man. Maybe just
another teacher,
just a bigger. Don't even matter that she's white or black. Maybe just a bigger lady, or maybe a lady a little more quick. Who knows? Like,
I don't think that he should be getting 30 years.
No, I'm not gonna say it should be 30 years, but
he does need something.
He needs to sit the fuck.
He does need something, but it shouldn't be 30 years.
I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to offend people with autistic children or anything like that, but he need to go somewhere.
And with Florida being one of the most racist little states right now with their governor and stuff,
them down south laws just
it's bad for black people down there.
They just different.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I don't think he needs to be sitting down for 30 years. He does need some type of rehabilitation.
This is probably something we'll talk about again, because once the trial really starts and maybe some shit comes out. I do know it is something personally that I'm gonna keep track of. Maybe we can come a little better informed. But this is all right. What's next?
Welcome back, guys.
We are here.
Yeah, we
part
back two. Part two. So all right, we're gonna jump right back into this joint topic of the day again. So Red sent me something from Neighborhood Talk or something like that. But basically, it was Scrappy talking about he went through he admitted to going through Bambi's diary or something.
No, you sent it to me because you said you've actually done this and you wanted to talk about it.
No, well, you sent it to me, and then I was yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you sent it to me. Okay.
Nah, you sent it to me, and I was like, we can talk about this because I've actually done this.
And I was like, cool.
And you was like, bet, let's do it.
Let's get it.
And that's our thing now. We saying bet because everybody on Michigan saying bet because they didn't try to play our boy hardball, but it's all good. Bet. Anyways,
so I'm gonna lead in on this one. So
okay,
if you haven't,
I got you.
Like if you haven't seen the clip, it's Scrappy talking about how is now I think is their divorce final? They're going through the divorce. Scrappy, from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I don't remember what his one hit was, but he was married to Bambi, and he's known for one. Anyway, they're getting divorced now, and he was talking about how at one point, especially when their marriage started to have problems, he went through her diary to see if he could figure out what the problems were, and apparently he was surprised at some of the shit she had been writing down, how she felt about him, and according to him, his exact quote basically said like that's a fucked up or a bitch way to feel, so to speak. I didn't realize it was this far back up. But anyway, he went through the diary and realized, don't think there was no saving what was going on. So I sent it to him, and he had alluded, in the DM that he had actually done this. So after watching the video, watching the clip, let's jump into it. You were in, I don't know which relationship this was, but you were in one, and you felt the need. You felt the need that you had to read your girls.
I didn't feel the need. I did it because I had to.
Same. That is felt
okay,
the fucking need. You felt the need that you had to go through your girl's private journal.
Felt the need just sounds bad.
Which to me is like going through your partner's phone, but whatever. You felt the need that you had to do it.
It's the equivalent to that.
It is the equivalent to that. So talk about
why do you? Okay, I'm gonna tell my whole situation. Why do you have a problem with this stuff?
We're gonna get to that later. I want you to go first because I want to hear, because I would have never pegged you as the type to do something like that.
I'm not.
I'm basing this off of conversations we had. So
I'm not that type.
It really caught me off guard when you admitted,
that's why I said we can talk about it.
I've done it.
All right, so look.
Let's allude to, we don't have to.
So
do I know the person you did this to? Okay.
No. Right. So boom, basically this was my first relationship. You know what I mean? Like, and let's just say my first relationship, I was 15, she was 19. You know what I mean? Like,
Predator! Bitch, you been on Dayline. Where are you?
But, you know what I mean?
He was not ready.
Oh, no, I was ready.
No, you weren't.
No, I was ready.
It's another conversation for another day. Go ahead.
At least I thought I was ready.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I like Shorty or whatever, you know what I mean?
Cool, go ahead.
And you can't call her a bitch. She's cool. She might not watch this though. Whatever. Anyway.
No, she don't watch it?
She I don't know. But anyway, so she was a little bit more experienced than me.
Female R. Kelly, go ahead.
she was more experienced than me, you know what I mean, when it came to sex and all of that stuff, because I was a virgin, you know what I mean, when I first got with her. I did everything with her. I did everything with her, you know what I mean? She turned me out.
She taught you.
Yeah, she turned me out, you know what I mean? So boom, check
it. This was your first?
This was my first. So check it out.
All right.
So check it out, right? Me and her together for 4.5 years, right? We moved from Syracuse down here, and then we doing the long distance things for like 2.5 years. I graduate from high school. I moved back up there. I'm living with her amongst her and my grandmoms. You know what I mean? Going back and forth between their houses. You know what I mean? Like, and I did that for about a year. A year rolled around. She want to go to school. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, cool. You want to go to school, better yourself. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, she's older than me. Okay, I twisted that a little bit. She was 18, I was 15, but I was turning 16, she was turning 19.
It's still kind of
same thing. But anyways,
Predator.
So she wanted to go to school or whatever, and I'm like, cool. You going to school? We sat down and talked about it. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, I'm 16, 17, 18, however old at this time. I know nothing. You know what I mean? I'm all in with this chick, all in for this chick. You know what I mean? Like, willing to do whatever. And I'm believing everything we talking about. She like, all right, I'm going to go to school for this long. We going to keep in touch, blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. We do that. the first few months, it was good. Then she started telling me about somebody that started to annoy her, a boy, right? But I'm like asking these questions, and she's swerving around these questions. And I'm like, I know what I feel, but all right, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. Then shit start changing big time. You know what I mean? Like she stopped answering my emails, my phone calls, everything just started changing out of the blue. Come to find out, she was dating this boy that she was telling me was annoying her. You know what I mean? She had came back to Syracuse, didn't even tell me. I didn't even know. I had to go to her mom's house and talk to her mom, asked did she talk to her, blah, 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 right? Her mom was like, yeah, she ain't tell you, like she pregnant with a kid, like and about to move to blah, blah, blah. She was just here, she smoked cigars and all types of stuff. I'm like, who are we talking about? Not the girl I was just dating for the last 5 years. You know what I mean? Completely disappeared. So I ended up staying the night at her mom's house and she still had stuff laying around. So I'm like confused as hell because I'm like, what happened? Like what went wrong? We sat down, we talked about this. You know what I mean? Like this was supposed to continue. So what wasn't I doing to the point where, you know what I mean, she was willing to go meet somebody new in less than a year, get pregnant with the nigga and move with him? I need to figure out something she not telling me. So I did some digging and that's when I found her journal. And the last time she was there, you know what I mean? I guess that's when she wrote in it all of this stuff. So I found it. I sat there and read it the night that I stayed the night at her mom's house. Because I'm like, it's gotta be something in here telling me what happened to the point where everything was okay and then everything just stopped. You know what I mean? Like, so that was the reason why I ended up doing it. But that's also the reason why that was the day that I figured out that I would never, ever go through a phone or a book or nothing again, because whatever I'm feeling, you know what I mean? Like if I have a gut feeling about something, I can go with the gut feeling because the proof is going to come out anyways. You know what I mean? At some point in time,
can be wrong.
Gut feelings can be wrong. And I wouldn't speak on anything or nothing unless I had evidence on it.
I got you.
You know what I mean? But my gut feeling is going to make me be aware of some stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna go as far as checking phones and stuff because at any given point once you have to figure out that you gotta go in somebody's phone to check it, whatever y'all got is done. It's completely done. You're never ever, because once that starts, you're gonna feel like you gotta go on that phone forever. I don't care how long a person changes. It takes one instance for you to go back and you're gonna want to be right back into that phone. You know what I mean? So me personally, it's not a big thing to me. It never has been with none of my girls or anybody I talk to. They phone ring, you know what I mean? I don't care. Unless you barking on me about my phone, that's the only time I'm really going to say something about you, about your phone. You know what I mean? I may make a joke if I want to spend time with you or something like, you know what I mean? Like, tell your hoes you with me. You know what I mean? I may say something like that, but I'm not checking a phone. You know what I mean? Because, again, if something is going on, you're going to see they're going to be acting some type of way. And whoever you with, you should know them well enough to know that something is off. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Like, if not, something needs to be balanced there in the first place. You know what I mean? But I was 18, 19, however old I was when that happened. But that was the only reason I even went looking for, that was the only reason
You've never done it since then?
I've never been out. I went through somebody's watch because they went through my phone.
So you was
in a relation. I just did it in retaliation.
You was doing it to be paid.
I just did it in retaliation. I didn't care to do it. You know what I mean? Like, and afterwards,
did you find out something you shouldn't have when you went through it, or?
Nah, it was kind of something I already knew. It was.
So it was confirmation.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt like basically, I felt like she was talking to not even a boyfriend. Like, she was just lying about being cool with one of her friends that was a female. Me and her just didn't get along, and she just made it seem like they wasn't talking when really she was in that motherfucker dogging me. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. She was mad. It wasn't no beef.
To answer the question you were going to ask me, it's not that I so much have a problem with it. Here's what I have a problem with it. When you do that, go through a person's phone, I don't even know if people still even do diaries anymore. But when you go through something like that, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find something that you either didn't want to know the answer to, or that you really didn't want to see. And what I find funny or shocking is that when people do that, you have the nerve to be surprised. And I feel that you shouldn't be, because if you didn't have a reason to, you wouldn't be doing it in the first place. I've done it twice.
So why you was surprised when I said I did it?
Because of the conversations we had. That's just not something I would see you doing.
So do you believe that I've never done it after that again? Besides the one time I just said with the watch.
Because of how I've gotten to know you, and because of the exes that I have met, I would bet money that you haven't done it. Now, I don't think I've met all the exes. Like, if you was to introduce me to an ex that made me feel a certain type of way, I might look at you and might be like, yeah, that nigga might have went through that. I don't know. I would, I would find it hard to believe. But of the ones that I have met, and considering the
ones, you make me sound crazy.
No, because I don't know technically how many girlfriends you've had in your whole. I'm not talking about fuck buddies, but girlfriends you've had in your whole life. I can only speak on, and I've literally only met the ones I've met. And from what you've told me, infidelity was never an issue in those relationships. So, no.
Never.
I've done it twice. The first time I did it, I felt bad because of what I found out. They had an illness, and they basically just thought they couldn't talk to me about it. And I felt real fucked up. The second time, it was more for me looking for confirmation of something I knew.
Did you find that?
Oh yeah, and I didn't even get mad. It's because I knew it was one of them things. It was almost like I was a cop. I had all the evidence in the world. I wanted that confession.
What did you go through? Phones?
Both times it was a phone.
How'd you get in?
Well, I take that back. The first time it was emails. The second time it was a phone. And the second time was the infidel. Like, I knew something was up.
Did one of those times hurt you from the information you got? Because I was absolutely crushed.
The first one did, only because she felt, for whatever dumb reason, that she couldn't just talk to me. Like, you acted like you acted different, making me think I'm stupid. You got me thinking you cheating, when actually it's really just some other shit that we could have just had a conversation. The second one.
But was you being welcoming enough for her to come talk to you about that? Was you welcoming?
I don't know.
About that.
I don't know, because I don't know, because what they were going through. I don't think there's no way I could have known on how to approach it. I just knew something was off. I couldn't pinpoint what it was or why. Just it's just like you said. There's a gut feeling like something. It's just something is not. Something is not weird. The second time did not hurt because I was already prepared. It was just like, I just need to know. I know it's there.
Okay.
I just need to know.
So did you approach her after you found out, either one of them?
Oh, I approached her the very day.
Was it the same person?
From the first time? No.
Did you check the same person's phone twice? Or was the two different?
These are two different people.
Okay. So.
But the second one, I checked it. No, literally, 10 minutes later, we were having a conversation. Oh, she was in the house. She was in the shower. The minute she got, I mean, I was petty. Like, nigga, I was
What was the outcome of that?
Like put the seat down. I was sitting on the toilet waiting for her to get out the shower. Like,
well, but you already knew though, so you wanted to confront her about it?
No. It not so much a confront. Like I said, it was a confirmation because once I saw what I saw, I had all my shit packed up. I wanted her to know why I was leaving. It was one of them things to when that shower curtain pulled back. Just so you know, I'm leaving today. I won't be back because you've been doing what I thought you was doing. She wanted to discuss. There was nothing to discuss for me at that point. It was like, I'm done. It was more a thing of, even though it was petty, it was more a thing of me wanting to be courteous. You know, hey, this is why I'm leaving. I had the phone in my hand while I'm talking to her. Hey, this is why I'm leaving. And sat it down just like that and got up and walked out.
And that was the end of y'all.
Yeah.
That was the end of that.
I mean, she tried to reach out, wanted that. Like, I'm good. I can forgive. I can forgive a lot of stuff. One thing about me, especially when I know and we've had this conversation before. There are different reasons why people cheat.
Mm-hmm.
When you are cheating, basically just to be selfish. There's no coming back. There's no coming back from that for me.
Correct.
You're not cheating because I wasn't being attentive, or because you thought I was cheating, or being an ass, whatever the reasons may be. You're doing it just because you want your cake and eat it too. That,
yes,
I can't let go. The other reasons, and it may be hard to get over. Maybe I won't be, depending on how I love you. I might be willing to try. But literally just doing it, just because it's there, like a nigga would, like, you know, just because it's there, that I can't, no. Because that thing is, because where that leads, like, if you're willing to do that to me when I'm doing everything right, and you're still, for whatever reason, willing to do that to me, God forbid what you would do to me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to find out. I'm good. It doesn't mean I hate you. I can forgive you. We can be cool. I'm not saying we're gonna ever speak again. I ain't got to hold no ill will towards you. But when you're literally doing it just to be selfish, or just because you think you can, nah, I can't let that go.
Yeah, that's your personal.
Like I said, there are other times when it can happen, and like I said, there may be some underlying circumstances there.
Yeah.
But if it's literally just some selfishly motivated shit, no, I can't do that.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the crazy thing about, like, the one time, well, that first time that I did it, and I felt like it was just the end of the world. It ended up coming back to be the best thing that happened, because the whole situation ended up being completely messed up. The dude that she was messing with ended up lying to her about his age. He told her he had all of these cars and blah blah blah. Like, that was the reason why she left. You know what I mean? She was saying that I wasn't man enough for her. And she went and met this dude, and he told her he had all of these cars and all of this other stuff. Like, come to find out that money was way younger than her.
That's a good way to put it.
Way, he was way younger than her. You know what I mean? And he didn't have no cars, like none of that. Like, when she went and stayed with him for the first time, like, his grandmom's told everything. And she ended up coming back around eventually and apologizing to me and stuff like that. But that was the only reason why I did feel like I felt like that needed to happen. Now, with Scrappy, at this point, it's like, my nigga, especially with you and who you are, you just look funny doing that. And the reason I say that is because I know you've been around all types of women. You know what I mean? With your celebrity. At this point, you going through a diary is just like hitting rock bottom to me. Cause it's like, first of all, I didn't even know they was married. I thought this was just like his girl. Was that like an episode on Love and Hip Hop or something?
No, I think he was on that clip I sent you. He was on I think he was on a podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he just looked wild as hell saying that, admitting to that right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I don't think he's ever had issues with it.
I don't think him doing it was necessarily, but I want to give him benefit of the doubt and believe what he was saying is that he was doing it because he wanted to figure out what was up and wanted to try and save it. No, he said he was trying to figure out what was wrong with his marriage and if there was going to be some salvageable stuff to it.
Okay, so did they? I wonder if they asked him do you feel like this was a last resort? Like, has he attempted to talk to her first, or is this just?
I don't know because
the gun.
The clip basically just shows him admitting that he did that, and then the person asked him what was he trying to find, and he said I was.
And I would like to know. After he found out whatever he found out, what did you expect to happen from there?
Well, I think it was pretty clear they got divorced.
Because here's my thing. If she's not telling you already, you know what I mean? Like, you going to find that answer ain't going to make her want to talk about it no more.
Well, we don't know when this happened. Maybe it was just a thing of he's noticing problems and they're just not talking. Maybe he was trying to beat her to it to try and, we don't know.
Even if she was done with him, let me ask you this. Even if she was already done with him, does she have the right to be mad that he went through her stuff?
I don't know if she was mad or not. It doesn't.
Even if she, just hypothetically.
I think even if they weren't on that. I don't believe in this whole concept. And this is probably why I'm where I'm at when it comes to dealing with women. I'm a firm believer in even if you married, you are entitled to some space and some privacy. There should be some shit that should be allowed to just be for you, because at the end of the day, I don't care who you are, you need that for yourself. So I
don't think you should be exempt from having a diary if you're married.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said, like, to answer your question, I don't think it matters where they were at. Like, even if they were happy and still married to this day, I do think she still would have a right to feel some type of way about it.
Okay.
Because like I said, I don't care if you're living with somebody, married, whatnot, you still everybody to a degree. Like, I know some people that literally spend every waking moment with their significant other. And I look at that like, hoorah for you guys.
I would love that.
I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I also know me. There are times to where I know I'm just...
Oh, nah, I'm definitely going to need my time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to need my time.
There are going to be times where I'm going to look at you, like, even if we're in the same house, like, can't you just go in the other room and watch TV? Can I just sit here
I'm gonna need
for
my
a fucking
time.
Can I just sit here?
I need my space.
I don't care what's happening on what you watching. I want to watch it. Like, I really don't care. And I just think you still need that. Like, you can still have. Are you okay now?
Yeah, my butt hurt.
Oh, your stool don't work no more?
Nah, I did.
I just think there are times to where, like, you need that.
Okay.
That's all
Yeah, I agree. In marriage, in relationships, whatever, friendships, whatever, you need your privacy.
Just like the clip I showed you where the dude was like, fellas is here, take your ass. Why you want to sit out here with us? It's just dudes out here. Why you want to sit out here with us? Go. I ain't saying you gotta leave. Go in the other room. I don't want you out. I'm trying to, there's just times when you need that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think I could. That's like, I don't see how some people like are in relationships and work together. Like on the same shift in the same department, we living together. I see your ass at home. I see like I'm literally with you. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, nah, that's a bit much for me.
I mean, we could be at the same job. We can't be on the same shift and not in the same department. Because
that'll be
I don't care who you are. People need breaks from each other.
Yeah. That's a fact.
And that's what I be trying to tell people sometimes about relationships. You got to listen. This is some true shit. You got to really like a motherfucker. No, for real. To be with him all the time. Because I can love you and not be with you.
That's a fact.
I can love you from a distance and like not talk to you for like a month. And don't mean I don't love you.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But to want to be around a motherfucker all the time, dealing with you.
You never been around.
Dealing with you in your morning breath, your menopause, all that shit. Like to want to deal with that all the time. And same for her. She got to deal with your dusty ass all the time and your bullshit with your sports or video games and all that other shit. A motherfucker got to really like you.
You never
to want to put
like
up. That? No, you're missing the point.
No, I know. I'm just asking you as that's just.
No, I have, but I think that's where people sometimes get confused. You think just because you love a person, it's there. Because I'm sure everybody does. Like, I got family members that I love to death. I ain't trying to hang out with you motherfuckers. Not like that. I'm sure you do too. You might not want to admit it because we are, but like, it don't mean I want to fuck with you like that.
I don't know if I got family members I don't want to hang out with. Even in
you got a big family, I'm sure you do. But the way you are, you probably just don't pay them no attention. So.
It's a little.
I was getting ready to say I'm saying the way you are, you probably just don't pay them no attention. You're probably already not fucking with them. You just don't realize that you're fucking not because of how you are. Yeah. But it still proves my point. That it don't mean I don't care about what happens to you or that I don't even love you. I wouldn't want to deal with you every day like that. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot for a motherfucker to want to do that.
Back with another one. So, all right, we're gonna move to the next topic, and this one is, I think, another one that Red sent me. I'm not sure, but we're gonna talk about it anyways. So, this said that a bride cut off the wedding after she found out that her husband had experimented with guys back in college.
Dudes in college.
Yeah, back in college.
For retrospect, we have no idea how old these people are.
Yeah.
But from looking at her in the video, I'm gonna assume maybe late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, they look pretty young.
Dude's voice in the video does sound a little zesty, but
Okay, so is this a case of her being naive and pushing a problem to the point of I'm gonna deal with this or hide this until I get to the point where there may be no return, which is marriage. We don't know how. We have no context clues behind this. So we just going off a hypothetical, right?
Right.
Because I'm trying to figure out.
We have no idea if this was staged.
We don't know nothing. It's just something good to talk about.
I don't think this was a staged one. I wanted to do it because I thought it would be a good topic, but I don't know if it was staged or not. Like her reaction. If it was staged, she's a damn good actress. If it was staged.
We don't have no.
We have no backstory, no nothing.
So.
Or no context, I should say.
So, is this a case of her being naive? Because, like you said, his voice sounded a little zesty. We all know, we've all met that one person, dog, where we just continue. Dog, it's just that line, like, is he? You know what I mean? Like, is he? I know his mannerisms is like this and that, but, you know, he's always dated a girl, you know what I mean? Or this or that. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff is suspect, but we just don't know. We've all had that. And then we all had, oh, nah, he for sure is. Or she for sure is.
And then on the flip side, there has been the one like, yeah, that motherfucker gay. And then that's the biggest hoe out of everybody. And
you feel me?
Getting all the bad chicks. I mean, it goes full circle.
So I know there's the case of people date and they fall in love at first sight and they get married in 2 or 3 months. We gonna say that this didn't happen. Because she didn't find this happened back in college. You know what I mean? So this was a while ago. They had to have been dating for a minute about to go into marriage. How did you miss this? How did you miss this? This is gonna sound really funny, but I think that she ain't got nothing to complain about. I know.
Yeah, go ahead. Explain that one.
She ain't got nothing to complain about. The only reason I'm saying that is because this, right? When you talk to women, and trust me, because I've had this conversation with women. I've had this conversation with women. But when you talk to a woman, when you get into a relationship with a woman, and you talking to her about her past, she decides to be vulnerable with you and tell you about your past, right? And I'm not saying I agree with what he was doing, but I'm gonna tell you why she really don't have a reason to be mad. When you get into a relationship with a woman, she tell you about her past, whatever. Just say she come out and she'd be like, you know what I mean? When I was in college, I dated a woman too. You know what I mean? I experienced with a woman. Hold on. She say, I experimented with a woman too. I actually dated her. I didn't eat her out or nothing, but you know what I mean? I let her eat me out. You know what I mean? We went on dates or whatever the case may be, figured out that it didn't work, and I went on about my way. Never dated another woman in my life. You know what I mean? Reverse it. Nobody's gonna say nothing to her about that. Nobody's gonna call off a wedding because she experimented with another woman, you know what I mean, when she was in college. She might even get praised for it, for real.
Which to a degree, I think might be the bigger issue. Go ahead, keep going.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, if we talking about everything being equal and all of that nonsense, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's not, and that's the crazy thing. That's the double standard. If a guy says, I experimented with a guy. Now this dude, that caption was crazy because it said he experimented with the homies, which is wild as hell. That's super wild. But anyways, either way, if a guy says that, he's gonna be looked at as gay regardless. You know what I mean? Whether it was even if it was one time. For the rest of his life, whoever knows that is gonna know that this dude is gay. You know what I mean? And it's not fair that women don't get looked at like that, but guys do. If a woman has messed with a woman before, she should be considered as gay too, and not just experimenting. A guy do it, and you gay, nigga. Like you gay for the rest of your life, and it's not fair. It is a double standard, and I don't know what you about to tell me.
Well, no, I'm actually shocked at what you said, because that's what I was going to ask. So, well, for one, let's stay on the topic of, all right. Is there a problem with her calling off the wedding?
Yes.
Why? I'm actually shocked to hear you say that, but okay, why?
Because okay, Red. Okay, listen. I'm gonna kind of throw. Listen. I'm gonna kind of throw some of the stuff that you say back in your face. But if we, not at you. I
haven't said that.
I know, but you've said it in previous episodes. Now I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna run it back because check it, right? Again, if we talking about a wedding, like, you've been with this man long enough to know that you're ready to get married. I don't know how this came out, but I'm just guessing that this man was like, yo, let me get all of the secrets out while, you know what I mean? He felt comfortable enough. Let's just say that. He felt comfortable enough to want to tell her, you know what I mean, before they get married so they can start.
Doesn't matter the reason he told her.
But they found out. She found out now,
okay.
Right? So boom. Now that she found out, you've been with him long enough to know that you are ready to get married with him. Can you really blame him for his past if he hasn't continued that trend since college?
I would think not.
You cannot be mad at that. So if this was 10 years ago, and again, we don't know their age. Let's just say they 42. Let's just say they 40.
You can tell from that video. Well, we never see him. She ain't in her 40s.
She not. He might be.
Okay.
But let's just say they're a little bit older, late 30s. We'll give them mid 30s to late 30s, whatever, mid 30s. If he was 17, 18 in college and he did that one time, you know what I mean? I don't think that's room enough for her to be like.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes, sir.
And I'm basing it off of what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're 21.
Yes, sir.
You commit a crime.
Yes, sir.
You get sentenced to 21. You get sentenced to 15 years.
Yep.
You're going to get out when you have to do the whole 15. There's no early release, no parole. You're guilty. You did what you did. You're going to have to do the whole 15.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to take part in jail lifestyle, 15 years is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going where you were going. Once you get out, because of what you did in jail, does that make you gay, or does that just make you being in jail?
Well, if you're asking me personally, if you experience with the same sex, that just makes you gay. Period, point blank. To me.
Never did it before. You did it in jail because it's jail.
Yeah.
But now you back out, you go back to what you know. You're saying that still makes you gay. The reason I'm saying that is because of where you were going with the statement you were just making. Because I saw where you were going. That's why I wanted to add before I forget. And plus I was drinking before I got here. But I wanted to get that out.
Yeah.
Because there are some people, especially in our community, just like how lesbians get a pass for being lesbian, there are some people that give jail a pass for being jail, depending on how long you have to lay down.
Okay, so look, here's the difference with that, and I know that's just a scenario, but the difference to me with that is, I've never heard like that people get passes. Most people think once you go in there, and depending on how long you're gonna be in there, you coming out a certain way regardless. You know what I mean? And it you're absolutely right. It's almost as if when you go in jail and you got to be in there for a long time, it's almost as if people do give you a pass. You know what I mean? Like when you get out, like your boys and whatnot, like they might be like, that's wild, but some people be like, well, what else was he supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like he was in there for however many years, like. So yeah, but me personally, my personal views, I'm not mad at her for calling it off. Again, I'm just saying, if we're talking about being fair, you know what I mean, and all of that other stuff, like it's not the same thing when it comes to a woman doing it. You know what I mean? A woman to get a pass with experimenting with the same sex before a guy would. And it's not fair. You know what I mean? Like, because again, I highly doubt that if the roles was reversed and he found that out, maybe it's a very small chance, but maybe he just like, okay, I can't get over my wife being with a woman.
For whatever reason, it's just not looked at the same.
It's not looked at the same. And I just don't think that that's fair, which makes it stupid for her to call off the wedding because, one, it was way before you. And again, if he didn't continue that trend, maybe he just was going through something.
But we don't know that. What if they dated in college? We don't know if it was way before her or not.
Who?
The clip we're talking about. We don't know if it was before. For all we know,
we do not know it was before her.
We're assuming because of the video they did not go to college together.
Correct.
What if they did? Hell, for all they could have been dating in college and he still experimented anyway, just for whatever reason. Just like some women, there are those instances where some women who are in relationships ain't never been a woman want to just try it just to try. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying we don't know.
Okay, you're right, and that's.
But let's assume. But let's assume.
Because look,
let's assume that they did not date in college.
Let's assume that they did not.
They did not.
Okay, they did not. So it was before her, or if not before her,
we don't know how far before. Just the fact it was before her.
Yeah, it was before her.
Before her.
If they did not date in college, it was before her. You know what I mean? Now, depending on the length of it, you know what I mean? Like if they just started dating maybe Okay, we gave them mid-30s. If they started dating when they was like 28 or something, you know what I mean? Like, and he was 18 in college when he did that. That was 10 years ago. And again, it all depends on if the trend is still going. To me personally, you've experimented with it, you know what I mean? Again, I'm not mad at her for calling it off. I'm just saying, if we talking about it being before her and it's not something that would continue to trend up, he did it, he kept doing it. I don't feel like there's a reason for her to call it off. Unless she has a feeling that, unless she feels like there's a possibility that he might, you know what I mean? There's a double possibility of now that he might cheat with a woman and a man or a man now. If you feel like that, you know what I mean? Like you can't trust him or something like that because he's just now telling you this before y'all go get married. Okay, so, fine. You know what I mean? This is information you should have told me years ago, so I could have made up my mind then as to tell me when you propose, and now you want to try to get it out. I can see her being mad about that. You know what I mean? But as far as him doing the action, you kind of can't blame my man for his past if he continuing to do what he do. Unless he continued to do it. Trying it one time, again, to me, it makes you gay. But to me, because that's just not something that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Because of what you just said. Even if it's just once, as far as you're concerned, he's gay.
Yes.
Is that the same for a woman?
Yes.
She's a lesbian.
Yes.
So in your mind, for whatever reason, it can't be just some experimental shit.
Nah. Okay. And maybe that's because of the way that I think, you know what I mean? And what I might be being biased because I'm just not attracted to the same sex. I don't understand the whole, you know what I mean? And that we're not getting into that, but I don't understand the whole liking the same thing. So to me, like, yeah, if you're attracted to that, like, and if you're attracted to it once, I feel like, I'm not saying that it doesn't have to happen again, but I feel like that's something that you'll always continue to battle with. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is you don't think it can be a one-off? Or
it can be a one-off,
or you just feel that the thought is always going to be there.
Yeah, both can be true.
Yeah. I personally, I don't have a problem with her calling off the wedding because I think just from looking at the video, like I think she was so taken aback that was just her reaction.
Okay, so if this happened to your fiance as a man, and she told you that she experimented with a woman, she dated her, didn't do nothing with her, she let her do everything, you know what I mean? It didn't last, it would last like a month or whatever, and then that was the only time she's ever dated a woman. How are you gonna feel? And y'all engaged. How would you feel?
This was before me, right?
This was before you.
I wouldn't care.
See, that's all I'm saying.
But I'm not a gay man either, so I can't like I'm not that dude. So I can only speak at it from the male, female, male to female perspective.
Yeah, the reason I was asking you though is because you could feel how she felt. You could be like,
I could. Yeah, there's a chance I could.
You could be like, well, why didn't you tell me this all of this time before? Because you get it.
Because there's a difference between telling somebody and saying that, and that's the key. There's a difference to me between telling somebody you experimented versus being bisexual.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think she shouldn't call off the wedding. He said he experimented, which means that didn't last long.
But it also goes back into the stigma of where I'm not saying they don't happen. You don't hear about a lot of like hate crimes against lesbians or studs, dykes, whatever words y'all want to use. You don't hear about it. You hear plenty about gay men
Mm-hmm.
or bisexual men.
Mm-hmm.
You hear plenty about it that way. And it just goes back to this thing of, for whatever reason, one is more acceptable than the other.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't have a problem with her calling off the way. It could be one of them things to, hey, she's repulsed by that, or hell, maybe she think like you. You did it once, that means that's you.
Yeah,
she could be thinking like that.
Yeah, she could. She
absolutely
could.
It's like a, it can be a double-edged sword.
I'm not saying she's wrong, but I'm also saying that she's wrong. I'm not saying that she's wrong because I don't really know the situation, but
right.
And for conversation, again, like if we talking about fairness, I've never seen a woman get punished for telling, telling a man that she experimented with women, and it's not even looked up as the same, because again, even in friendships, if a woman tell some women would be like, oh nah, I ain't never, like, what, you experiment with women, you will get looked at old-fashioned, like old school women with morals, they will look at you crazy. But like these newer chicks, it's like that's the thing. Like, wait, what? You never kissed your best friend? Like, that's a thing. You know what I mean? Like, but with your homies, you can't never tell your homies, yo, fellas, like, I was just bored in college, you know what I mean? Like, so the basketball player on my team, I just wanted to, you know what I mean? See what it was like. You're done. You're done for. You can't say that. In any instance, unless it's just a group of y'all that's already like that. And it's just not looked at as the same. But again, like I said, for conversation, she's not wrong. It is what it is. Like, and money.
I can't say she's wrong.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say she's wrong. But
I don't know what her background is, her upbringing is. I don't know what her opinions are of the situation, but I thought it was funny nonetheless.